Hi guys, welcome to iNetwork 365, and in this video I am going to show you how to use Nagios 11 to monitor all your end users, network, hard disk, CPU and all this stuff in a centralized location. So what I am going to do, first I am going to download the Nagios 11. So I will open my Google Chrome and here I am going to type Nagios 11. So click on download Nagios 11. So I'm going to do this installation in Hyper-V because I'm using Hyper-V. But in case if you are using VirtualBox or VMware, you can select the second option. And the third option is for Linux. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the first option, download now. So in this I'm going to select Hyper-V because I'm going to do in Hyper-V. So I click download now. So once you click, you'll get an option to fill your name, last name, your email address and all this stuff. So after filling this, you can click on download. So since I already downloaded, I'm not going to do it again. So this is the file which I downloaded and I have extracted to a folder. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to open my Hyper-V and I'll click on new and select virtual machine. So click next. And here I am going to give a name Nagios 11, select next and make sure it is 2 GB because it's recommended to have 2 GB of memory. So click next. So from here I am going to select external. So this one I already configured earlier so that I can communicate from my virtual machine and my physical machine as well. So I'll select external. Click next, then select used existing hard disk, click browse and I'm going to select the first option, open and select this thing. Click next and finish. Okay. So this is the file which I selected, which is hard disk which I downloaded, Nagios 11. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch on this Nagios 11, click start. Okay, so you can see now by default it has selected on the top the IP address which is 192.168.10.11. So this is assigned through DHCP. So what you have to do, you have to make sure that you assign static IP address so that using that IP address you can access the Nagios 11. So first of all, you make sure you log into the Nagios. So I'm going to type the username password. So the username is root and the password is Nagios 11. So once you log in, what I'm going to do, I'm going to enter the command nmtui. Okay. Okay. So now select the first one, editor connection. So I'm going to select wired connection and select edit. So when you scroll down, you can see by default it is getting IP address from DHCP. So this one I'm going to change. I'm going to click on automatic and make sure it is manual. So click show and here you can assign an IP address. So I'm going to type an IP address 50 and this is the router's IP address and DNS server. So in this case I'm just going to give 8.8.8. Click OK. Back. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I will type if in here I will type the command code if down and the interface of my network card. So in case if you don't know the your interface name. So make sure type the command IP, and here you can see the interface name is ETH0. So again I'm going to type this command if down, and I'm going to type ETH0. Okay, so again I'll type up. Okay, so now the IP address should be assigned, the one which I configured manually. So to double check, I will type IP space ADDR show, and now you can see below the IP address is successfully changed, which is 192.168.10.50. Okay, so now I'll open again my Google Chrome, and from here I'm going to type 192.168.10.50, and you can see now I'm accessing directly the Nagios web page. So I'll select access Nagios 11. So in here make sure you configure your time zone, everything. So I'm here, I'm going to configure my time zone. Okay, and I'm going to leave all the default settings. So here I'm using the trial license, but if you purchase the license, you can select the second option and you can import the license. So I'm just going to leave it as default. Click next. And here if you want, you can change your full name. So I'm just going to leave this one default, and password I'm just going to give test123. And if you want, you can fill your email address here, but I'm just going to leave it as default. So I'll click finish install. Okay, so this is the username which you should use to log in, which is Nagios admin, and this is the password. So I'll click, I'll just go here, type 192.168.10.50. So now it is asking username, so I can use this username and the password. Okay, so click I have read, submit. Okay, so this is the default web page. Okay, so next step what I'm going to do, I'm going to configure my client computer. So I'll open my Hyper-V. So in here I have two client computers, which is client 1 and client 2. So let's make sure, I'll just right click on this client 1, go to settings, and I'll click on network adapter, and I'll just make sure that it is external, because the Nagios 11 also is using the external switch. And let's confirm the second one, client 2. So here also they are using external switch. Okay, so first I will start with client 1. So here what I'm going to do, I'll type over here optional, and you can see manage optional features. So click on this, click add feature, scroll all the way down and select simple network management protocol. So I'll click on install, go back, and here you can see it's installing. Okay, so installation is completed. So I'll click close, I'll click on start and type service. So in here type service SNMP, and here you have to select the SNMP service. Right click, properties, go to agent, and make sure the physical and data link is ticked. So next I will click on security. So here I'll type add, and I'll make sure it is read only, and I'll type here public add, and over here I will again click add, and here I'm going to type my Nagios 11 IP address, which is 192.168.10.50. So I'll click apply and OK. So now let's go to our Nagios 11. So in here what I'm going to do, I'll click on configure wizards, then select Windows over here, and here I'm going to select Windows SNMP. So here you have to enter your client IP address. So let's confirm what is the IP address. So here I'm going to type ipconfig. Okay, so the IP address is 192.168.10.13. So I'm going to enter this IP address over here, 192.168.10.13. So here I'm just going to leave everything default, click next. And here if you want to do any changes, you can do the changes like your CPU usage. So if it reach above 80%, it will give alert. Same like that your physical memory and your virtual memory as well. So I'm going to leave this thing as default, but if you want, you can add more features over here. So I'll click next, and again next, and finish. Okay, so it's configured. So I'll click on home. You can click on host, or else you can come and click over here. Okay, so I'll click this thing, and here you can see the client computers added here. So I'll click on this, and at the top you can see view current status. So I'll click on this option. So now it is scanning, so it will take some time, like around 5 to 10 minutes. So once the scan is completed, you can view your CPU usage and your disk usage, your physical memory, and also you can ping. So let's try to ping. Okay, I cannot ping now. I think the reason is because still it is scanning. So once the scan is completed, I will be able to ping. And you can see the CPU usage is it's showing okay, the status, and it's showing less than 80%. So that means everything is fine. So the other thing will take some time. So next, let me show you one more option. Again, if I click configure wizards, and if I click on Windows, and here you can see you can add server, and also you can add the desktop as well. So in this option, let me click this option, Windows Desktop. Okay. So here you can see there's an option called download the latest version. So this is an agent where you can install in your client computer. So instead of installing the SNMP, you can straight away download this and install in your end user's computer. So I'll click on this. Okay, so here you can see there is an option for Mac, for CentOS, for Linux versions, and another you can see there is for Windows as well. So I'll click on this. Okay, so now you can see it is downloading. So since I already downloaded one, so I'm going to show you that one. Okay, so you can see here I already downloaded earlier, so I'm going to copy this, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to double click on client 2, and I'm going to paste it here. So I'll paste over here. Okay, so I'll here double click on this setup, click yes, click next, agree. Okay, so here I'm going to leave everything as the default settings, click next, Click next, next, and install. And I'll click on finish over here. So next what I have to do, I have to identify what is the IP address for this client to virtual machine. So I'll click on start, type CMD, and here I'm going to enter the command IP config. Okay, so IP address is 192.168.10.15. So again I'll go to my Nagios web page, and here I'm going to enter the IP address of my client computer. So I'll just type 192.168.10.115. So I'll leave everything default, click next. Okay. So also one thing you have to make sure that in case if you enter the IP address and if you click next, it will give an error message if the configuration is wrong. But since the configuration is correct, so I came to the step 2 page, so where I can do the configurations, additional configuration. So in here also, if you want to do any changes, you can do the changes. So I'm going to leave everything default, and I'll click next and finish. Okay, so I'll click on home, and again I'll click on this option under the host status summary. So still it's not added. Okay, I'll click on host status. Okay, so make sure you click on host status so that you can see all the hosts which you configured. So you can see for now it is showing down because it's scanning. So I'll click on this option, and I'll click on view current status. Okay, so this will take some time because it's still scanning all the CPU usage and everything. So the next step I'll show you, again I'll click on host status, and on the first option 192.168.10.13 which I configured earlier. So I'll click on this, and I'll click again view current status, and here you can see all the status is displayed here. So you can see the CPU usage is okay, the C drive usage is okay, there is some space, and you can see the virtual memory usage. So it is showing it's critical. I think it passed the recommended limit, so that's why it's showing critical over here. Okay, so using this you can identify what is the problem in your host 192.168.10.13. Okay, so there is one more step. I'll show you that one also. So for this thing you have to click on configure and configure wizards, and in here you can see there's an option called auto discovery. So I'll click on this, and I'll click on new auto discovery job. So here it will scan for all the available hosts in your network. So to do this thing you have to configure your network, so which is 192.168.10.0/24. So I'll click submit. So this will take some time because it will scan your network. Okay, so now you can see the status is finished, and it has found 7 devices in the network. So I'll click on this. So I'll click next, and here you can see all the device. So first of all is starting with the router, then second it is showing some additional host in your network. So if you want, you can untick this thing and you can click next, but for now I'm just going to select everything instead of removing them. I will click next and finish. Okay guys, so the configuration is completed. So again I'll click on home and I'll click on host status. So now you can see it has configured all the host over here, which is 192.168.8. So I mean 10.8, 10.3, 10.2, 17 and 15. So these are the things which has automatically configured through the auto discovery. Okay guys, so that's all about this video and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So until next time, please share, subscribe and like my video. Thank you.